Here's Steve Hartman, Victor Brick Jacobs, and yes, we feel the spirit of Pat O'Brien. He's listening right now, you know that, out there in Jamaica. By the way, in the time it takes for a halftime, you can find out how much you can save on car insurance with Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50% or more on your car insurance. Well, Vic, here we are in our beautiful studios right now. And we have a couple of great guests with us right now.
Royalty in the house, y'all.
We're going to talk a little bit about the United Athletes Foundation, triathlete, and dialysis patient. And this is an amazing story. Shad Ireland is with us. First of all, Shad, how are you?
Hey guys, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm doing well.
I want to hear all about your story. This is a remarkable story. And then we have this guy over here from the U, future first ballot Hall of Famer, simply one of the greatest players in the history of the National Football League.
I've dubbed him the greatest linebacker of our time and space.
The great Ray Lewis is here. Hey Ray, how are you, man?
How you guys doing, man?
We are doing great. It is great to see you, first of all.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
5-2. It's been too long, Ray.
It's
been too long between our energy bursts, man. No one lights up a room, you know, a media row at the Super Bowl. Of course, the Ravens haven't been there in a couple of years, and Ray's always there. Lewis is there, you know, working the room. But when Lewis comes into any of the various radio stations around the world, it suddenly lights up when Ray hits the radio row, man. You got incredible spirit, incredible energy.
Thank you, man. You do too. I love your energy.
Feeling you, Ray Lewis.
Be careful where you go. Don't feed the animals over here. That's what I always say with Vic. Well, first of all, I want to ask you, Shad, and now how is it that you and Ray are together here with us today?
Oh, it's a great story. I had a chance to meet Ray down in Florida at a Super Bowl event, and I walked up to Ray and I told him about the impact of kidney disease and the leading causes that it's having in underserved communities and communities of color. And I asked Ray, I said, would you help? And, Ray said, what can I do? And so I told him, I said, look, I'll never be a Ray Lewis. I said, in my community, I'm recognized. But, when Ray speaks, people listen.
Sure.
You're one of the greatest players. You're highly recognizable. And I said, together, if you help me deliver this message, we could save hundreds of thousands of lives. And so Ray said, what do you need me to do? And so we're here, we're doing media. Ray has a family member that's on dialysis, and so it's personal to him. And that's the way this disease is. It impacts our society. It permeates our society.
Well, tell us your story here. How did this happen for you?
Sure. Well, my kidneys failed when I was 10. The leading causes being obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes. There are some forms of genetic kidney disease, and then in some cases like mine, they don't know what caused it. I was a healthy child. I was dreaming of becoming an athlete, and then they told me that I needed a life-saving dialysis therapy, and that I needed a kidney transplant. My life expectancy was significantly shortened, and it's grown out of there. I've been on kidney dialysis now for 29 years. I'm successfully living with this disease. I'm a professional athlete, first dialysis patient in the world to ever complete Ironman. I rode my bike across the country 2009, and now I'm doing the Take on the Tour project. It starts May 16th with the Amgen Tour California. I'm riding stages 2, 4, and 6.
Yeah, well done.
No doubt. Ray, playing in the National Football League 15 years and counting. We were just talking during the timeout, working back in the 80s in the NFL as I did, and when I used to watch the players drag themselves in on a Monday, you're like, how are they going to get ready for another week? We know what NFL players go through, so obviously there was something in Shad's story here that must have really sparked an interest for you.
I think that the interest for me is, if there's a will, there's a way. He has found a way to defeat the odds and not let his situation dictate his future. And I always say this, a lot of guys, the saddest thing in this world is wasted talent. And when you take someone with his efforts, with what his problem is, at 10 years old, you're talking about a 10-year-old child who's then affected by his kidneys, and how do you introduce that news to him, and how do you tell him to fight? And so my wanted to be a part of this. My grandmother's on dialysis, and her kidneys she has many problems, not just kidneys. And so it's always about what's the next step. And as soon as I met Shad, I said, you know what, just tell me what it is that you're trying to do, because the message is simple. The message is make you a better you. Don't look for somebody else to do it. And that's what Shad has done. He said that whatever my situation is, whatever my disease is, if I'm still here, that means I'm not dead. That means I got time to do something different. And he's doing something different. He's doing something about it. And I encourage more people who find themselves in something. And we're talking about over 27 million people that's walking around with chronic kidney disease. We're talking about another 21 million people that's walking around and don't even know that they have it. So these issues are real. We're talking about over 133 million people that's obese or just purely just not in no type of good shape. So these are the things I think are the issues that we have to take back to our communities. We have to educate them on how to eat right, why to eat right, why you should properly hydrate. Because if you treat your body, like we should treat our cars, you understand, you're only gonna go as far as long as you keep up your car. If you ain't changing the oil right, you're in trouble. You ain't putting gas in it, you ain't gonna go too far. And it's the same thing, and that's the thing I try to teach to my kids. Fast food is it's strictly for what it is. It's fast food. Yeah, it's only gonna give you a quick fix, but it ain't gonna keep you around a long time. Chad, he's been forced to live a certain way, but I think 'cause a lot of people have an opportunity to do it different, and that's our message, and that's why I'm a part of it.
Chad, what was your inspiration at 10 years old? I mean, here you are, your stimuli, your parents, your friends, but still you're 10 years old, you still had to dig deep into your soul, to change your life. Who inspired you, or what series of events, made you, the hero, the warrior that you have become?
Thank you, you're kind. I can tell you it wasn't at 10. I struggled. I attempted suicide at age 11. I was told that I was untransplantable, that the dreams that I had of being an athlete were unrealistic. And so I, stumbled through life. I got my first transplant at 18, and it was the loss of that transplant. I went from 145 pounds down to 75 pounds. I found myself on my mother's couch. I was given 6 months to live, and I saw the Ironman on TV. And I can tell you, the Ironman triathlon saved my life. That was my source of inspiration. I watched these people do a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and a 26.2-mile run, and collapse it just before the finish line, and then crawl the last 50 meters. And I wanted whatever they had. I wish I could describe it. What is it that Ray does on the field? What is it? What makes him the fierce competitor? What made that woman who crawled the last 50 meters do whatever it took to get to the finish line? And that was my source of inspiration. And Lance said it best. I race for them. I'm racing for my community. I'm very humbled by the fact that I get to do what I do, that people find inspiration in what I do. And I think being an athlete, generally speaking, is a privilege. I think that with great opportunity comes greater responsibility, and that we're in a position where we can impact people and inspire people and motivate people because we're athletes. And that's the true power of being an athlete. That's the privilege and the responsibility that we have.
We have Shad Ireland here, triathlete, dialysis patient. An amazing story here. We got the legend Ray Lewis. We got to take a very quick time out, guys. We're going to come right back. I do want to remind everyone, if you need a little extra to get you through the afternoon, stay away from those giant cans of energy drinks. They're infested with sugar and calories.
Don't need it.
Little bottle of 5-Hour Energy is all you need. There's no sugar, only 4 calories, 2 ounces. And it gets the job done. And a multitude of flavors.
Do I have time to run down a couple
Very
of flavors?
little time. Give me something.
Grape. You got orange.
Bring it down now.
Bring it down now and do it live, Steve Hartman.
5-Hour Energy, it works. Back with more with Ray, Shad, the Cannons here on Fox Sports Radio.